The Outlander book series is an epic 9-novel story that serves as the source material for the popular Starz show of the same name. And, for the most part, the seasons faithfully adapt the books in order. Author Diana Gabaldon wrote the first novel in the series, Outlander, in 1991. The following 8 books were released over the next 20 years, with the longest pause between publishing being between Book 8, Written in My Own Heart's Blood, and Book 9, Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. The Outlander series also includes spin-off novellas, graphic novels, and audiobooks. The series received a TV adaptation, and the first episode of the series premiered on August 9, 2014, and led to 7 more seasons, with Season 8 of Outlander on the way. The show, like the novels, follows Claire Fraser, a British World War II nurse, who is transported back in time to Scotland in 1743. From there, she participates in rebellions, travels the world, and falls in love. Gabaldon is a paid consultant on the series, making for a very faithful adaptation via AZ Central. Each season of Outlander corresponds roughly with one novel, but later seasons draw from multiple books, with some novel elements changed for television. The first season of Outlander follows the first novel very closely. Both begin with Claire and her husband Frank vacationing in Scotland in 1945. However, in the book, Claire goes through the time stones on May 1, the Festival of Beltane, a May Day festival. In the show, Claire time travels on November 1, the Festival of Samhain, a date which better coincides with when the series was filmed. Other than that, and some smaller character changes, like Rupert and Angus becoming more significant comic relief characters, and added storylines like Tamas the Sick Child, Outlander Season 1 starts and ends where the novel does. Season 2 of Outlander follows the second book in the series, Dragonfly and Amber, very closely. Both open on a flash-forward scene, but in the book, the scene takes place far in the future with Claire in 1968. The series makes a wise choice to set that flash-forward in the 1940s, just as Claire steps out of the stones, with an opening intent on foreshadowing the season finale. Setting that moment in a never-before-seen time period could be a bit confusing. Otherwise, Season 2 of the show follows the story of the novel. Claire and Jamie arrive in France to infiltrate the Jacobite rebellion and become involved in the strange world of French high society. In the show and the novel, the ending sees Claire stepping through the time travel stones, returning to her time, and leaving Jamie alone to face Culloden. Voyager is the third book in Gabaldon's series, and Outlander's executive producer, Ronald D. Moore, claims that the third book was the easiest to adapt to the screen via radio times. The show begins just like the book, with Outlander's long-awaited fight between the Jacobites and the Redcoats, and ends just as the novel does, with Jamie and Claire surviving a shipwreck that washes them upon the shore of the American colony of Georgia. One significant structural change that the show makes to the book is that the show tells Jamie's story through his point of view rather than in the third person, like the novel. Another major change is that Murtagh dies in Dragonfly and Amber at the Battle of Culloden, while in the show, he survives long after. Claire's story in the novel also involves her and her daughter researching Jamie to figure out what happened to him. This doesn't make for particularly interesting television viewing, so there are a few invented storylines for Claire and minor plots taken from other books and spin-offs.